Today we're going to talk about mistakes, why it happens, what you could do about it, and more importantly, how to get over it. If you like this kind of topics, let me know by giving this video a like. Enjoy. Making a mistake can be embarrassing because it feels like only the young and naive would make mistakes. Some mistakes don't just only hurt you, but it could also hurt others as well. If you search online, there are a lot of articles that group mistakes into many categories. But for this video, I would like to further simplify and just group them into two. The way I see it, there are mistakes caused by intentional choices and unintentional choices at the time. A mistake caused by unintentional choices, or rather a choice with little intent, is basically when you did something without much thought and regret almost immediately if you stop to think or analyze better. It occurs due to the lack of information, and sometimes they could even be caused by human flaws like forgetfulness, miscommunication, laziness, or even emotional reasons. Examples are like if you miss a turn while driving, or if you are angry and you accidentally say something you didn't mean, or let's say you missed someone's birthday because you lost track of time. You are still responsible for those mistakes, but in most cases, these mistakes are easy to understand, relate, not only because anyone could have made those mistakes, but also because you didn't mean to, and sometimes it's actually out of your control. Mistakes caused by intentional choices at the time is where you come to a conclusion based on your experience and understanding, in which you decide to do something despite any warnings and you regret later after seeing the outcome. These types of mistakes are usually due to bad assumptions, or it may involve some amount of uncertainty, but it is still a risk that you took based on your way of thinking, giving you more ownership and responsibility for what happens. For example, not taking the risk of investing in Bitcoin when it's cheap and not selling it before the price went down. Maybe even getting married when you're not ready, that leads to a painful and costly divorce later. These kinds of mistakes are quite personal because it shows things about you, and not everyone in your shoes would do the same. Recovering from this is hard, so hard that we might even make excuses for ourselves and just constantly point out the logic for our actions. This usually makes us feel better, but not others. At the end of the day, humans are emotional creatures, and people need to see that you're sorry before they could start forgiving you. I've learned from experience that you should always apologize first and then explain. Just the sequence alone plays a big factor in speeding up the process for others to forgive you. Trying to justify yourself too much at first just makes you seem more okay with the situation. Some people like to fixate on other people's faults and mistakes. It makes them feel like they're better. Problem occurs when they don't just want to be right. They also want others to see that they are right, and to do so, they have to show everyone else that you are wrong. With the help of social media, this could get out of hand very quickly. Before you know it, there are a lot more people who think ill of you without knowing the full context. I don't have a remedy for this, which is why it's very important to be careful. Your reputation is always on the line in this modern era, which is also why, knowing this, we shouldn't always get too quick to judge based on what we hear or read, especially if it involves someone we don't really know. When you have done all you can to make things better, but people still hold your mistakes against you, situations like this is when you learn who your real friends are. Time does heal, so do whatever you need to do to keep your mind off things and just allow time to pass. Know that there is no place to run or hide if you can't forgive yourself. This self-torture can easily be worse than what the situation actually is, and if you let it, it could consume you. Up to this point, I feel like I've been sending a message out saying that mistakes are bad and that we shouldn't make them, or people would hate us, or you might hate yourself, but that is not it at all. In fact, I feel like one of the biggest flaws a lot of us have is that we're too afraid of making mistakes, and we don't know how to deal with them, to the point that we lock ourselves in our comfort zone, and this fear cripples us from doing potentially great things. But as long as you weigh the risks and make sure that you don't hurt others, it is completely fine to make mistakes and learn from them. It might help to have a mindset that our mistakes are usually the work of someone inexperienced instead of seeing it as a lack of intelligence. By doing so, it feels normal for us to make mistakes along the way. Finally, I really hope that we could all be more forgiving to those who are sincere and merciful to ourselves. We all make mistakes, but don't make the mistake of handling them poorly. That is all for this video. I want to point out out that I'm learning 3D animation and this is my first video using it. There are a lot of flaws and clipping issues in this animation. Instead of spending another month or so learning how to fix it, I decided to release one video anyways with what I know so far and polish over time. Hopefully it'll be a lot better by the next video. I'll see you then. Take care. Bye bye.